Welcome back to the Little Rickard Show on the Little Rickard Network. We just discussed the last two Millersburg games, the Pine Grove game and the EJ game. We're going to talk a little college football. A lot of upsets so far. Number 2 Oregon got beat Thursday night. Alabama got beat today by Ole Miss. Mississippi State beat Texas A&M. Right now, as we speak, last I saw, Michigan State's up 2 scores on Nebraska. Auburn's blowing out LSU. Rutgers is beating Michigan. They got some issues there in Michigan right now, and I can't see how Brady Hoke's going to last. Notre Dame with an upset over Stanford. So a lot of crazy stuff happened in college football. Penn State's got the week off, and they got some issues of their own, a.k.a. the offensive line. Last week against Northwestern, that was pathetic. They got good running backs, and they can't block and create holes for the stable of running backs Penn State has. Christian Hackenberg has been phenomenal this year so far. He has last week he had maybe his worst game as a collegian. Short-armed a lot of throws, got into an argument with Belton, and rightfully so. Wide open and short hopped his pass. But right now, Penn State's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. Can't throw 40, 50, 60 times every week expecting to win and be a consistent football team. When you run the football, like last week the Dallas Cowboys did, DeMarco Murray had 150, 170 yards, took pressure off of Romo. They win. Now, like I said a few weeks ago, of all the years of the sanctions for Penn State this year it hurt really bad because they lost all the experience on the offensive line, graduated, turned pro. A lot of young kids, a suspension / kicked off the team, a torn ACL, in the spring drills. Had to move guys on from defense, and some tight ends had to come in and play the offensive line. And that's where Penn State's at. Lack of depth on the offensive line, and it's biting them. If they would go 8-4, 7-5, that would be wonders with the make shot offensive line. And I will say this right now, this will be the last you'll see this because, as you know, Penn State will get their full 85 players next year with the reduced in sanctions. So you better beat Penn State this year because starting next year, Penn State will be tough to beat. They will have depth in every position. They have a top 5 recruiting class. So you better get your licks and chops in on Penn State because from here on out, you want nothing to do with Penn State. You do not want to play them. So enough on that. Eagles, no offensive touchdowns last week. The running game, again, make shot offensive line. They do get Lane Johnson back this week against the Rams. That will help you. The guys that were filling in, they'll probably move over a spot. So that should help. That should help running game. Shady has been off to a good start. So with Lane Johnson, I think his running game will start improving. but he's made some mistakes too, not finding the right holes to cut through. And I think that might be due to him trying to do a little too much, trying to compensate for the lack of the blocking experience on the offensive line. Steelers, that was highly disappointing last week against Tampa Bay. I don't know if you watched 27 News, but John Ritchie pretty much ripped them a new butt. And rightfully so. You had a big lead on a winless Tampa Bay team who hasn't really been impressive. Let them hang around, and they turn around and win. Roethlisberger's been good. They got a good. Le'Veon Bell's been good, but the defense has just been lousy, pretty bad for Steelers standards. They may need to look to do something with Polamalu at the end of the year. They had to bring James Harrison back, coax him out of retirement, so they're desperate as they've got some injuries too on defense. So we'll see what happens there. To me, the surprise in the NFL, Bengals are one of them, undefeated. Dallas Cowboys 3-1. They are a surprise. But we'll see, because until they show me consistently that they're committed to running the football using DeMarco Murray, to me, eventually they're going to go back throwing 50, 40, 50, 60 times and getting Romo killed. But last week was a winning formula. We'll see if they stay on track. Baseball here. We'll touch on baseball a little bit here. 1-1, 10th inning, Game 2, Giants-Nationals. Pitchers duel there. To me, the shock right now, there's two shockers going on right now. The Baltimore Orioles, who are just flat out mashing the baseball against the Tigers and are up 2-0. That's a shocker. And Kansas City splitting with the Anaheim Angels. Hanging with them. So that's to me the shock right now. I have Anaheim and the Orioles playing for the pennant, and whoever wins that, I have them winning the World Series. I have the American League winning the World Series against the Dodgers. But after last night, National League's a crapshoot. Cardinals came back and won 10-9. Both pitchers got shellacked, Wainwright and Kershaw. So who knows? Giants are playing good ball. You might want to keep an eye on them. They won yesterday. So we'll see. Game 2 coming up here very shortly. If not happening right now, Dodgers Cardinals out on the West Coast. Anything Flyers? We'll get a little discussion here on the Flyers. They start Wednesday night against Boston at Boston. Their home opener is Thursday against New Jersey. There's for the first time in a long time, there is no quote unquote enforcer / fighter on the squad. Tiemann is out with that blood clot or whatever he has, that serious thing. So they need to find some depth. I like the goalies. I think the Flyers are solid behind Mason and Emery. It remains to be seen how good the defense is, because that was a weakness. The defensemen were lousy last year. They need to get off to a better start than last year. Last year was horrendous. The first part of the season, they were not very good. Laviolette got fired. Craig Berube, head coach. I like that. I like how Hextall, the GM, did some wheeling and dealing. They're like tight on the cap. They couldn't really go after any big free agents. I like the squad. They lost by 1 goal in Game 7 to the Eastern Conference champion. I think the Flyers got a shot, but it's critical they get off to a better start than last year, not put themselves in that kind of a hole. Uh, I'm quite confident they can. But to me, the West, Chicago and Anaheim are, and even put the Colorado Avalanche. Those are I think the top three teams in the league, and they're all in the Western Conference. Uh, in the East, I gotta put Philly. I'm not sold on Pittsburgh yet. They got a new coach and GM. We'll see. We'll see. Rangers lost a couple key pieces. Got to keep Detroit in the mix. Boston's gonna be there. So probably Philly, Detroit, and probably Boston. Those are probably the top. I say the top three in the East. So that should be interesting to see what Flyers do there. That's it. I don't have much of anything. Middle of the week, since I really don't have football practice. I think I only have one practice next week for football, so I'll probably put a video out maybe Wednesday night. We'll go into the power ratings and all that for all the sports. I do want to give, before we close, a shout out to Millersburg / Halifax golf team. They won the Tri Valley League title. They got sixth in the team district title, so kudos to them. This week is the district individual. And also a shout out goes to the Millersburg volleyball. They beat Halifax for the first time in like over 10 years. I was at the match. That was a very exciting volleyball game. They beat Tri Valley, so they clinched a tie, a win Monday or Tuesday. Will give them the outright division title and a spot in the School League volleyball playoffs. That will begin, I think, the 14th of October that I saw on the District 11 website. Volleyball team is really good. So, good players, Taryn Herb, Sammy Hines, Jess Millard, Kelsey Kuppenhaver. Those are probably the key players on that team. These girls play as a team, which is what you want. Very impressed. Hopefully, hopefully they go far. They can carry that over to their winter sport. Some of them will be playing basketball, so I hope they can carry that winning attitude over to the basketball court this year. Looking forward to that. So that'll be it. So again, congrats to the golf team and the volleyball team on their winning the league and the division championship. I do believe Millersburg ended up winning the Tri Valley League volleyball title. So kudos to them, and hopefully they have a good postseason. So we'll be with you Wednesday, and then after that, after football Friday coverage, and after the Millersburg Newport game, it should be interesting. Could be a high scoring ball game. So until then, we'll see you next week. This is the Lowell Record Show football preview on the Lowell Record Network. You guys have a great rest of the weekend and have a good upcoming week. We'll catch you later. See ya.